Good afternoon, I'm Dennis Galucki, and welcome to the 406th Imagine Buffalo program and another wonderful virtual Imagine lecture hosted by our Buffalo and Erie County Public Library. Now, thank you so much for joining us today. This program was created by the Center for the Study of Art and Architecture, History and Nature, or Cezanne, as pronounce the acronym, and ImagineLifelongLearning.com. Now we're going to start with our speakers shortly, but first a little housekeeping. Everyone watching will be muted during our speakers presentation, which will last about 15 minutes. We'll have time for questions at the end. And if you do have a question, please type it into the chat box and we'll get to as many as we can. This program is being recorded. You'll be able to watch it again later on the library's Facebook and YouTube channels and share the link with your friends so they are able to do so as well. As a reminder, we'll be here on Zoom, life willing, every Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. with a great lineup of local speakers. Now, today is the 5th Tuesday of the month, so our focus is called The Art of Investing, and our theme is Imagine a Healthy, Wealthy, and Sustainable Community. Today, we're going to look into what does that term sustainable community look like to people that have been working on this for around 7 years officially. Our featured speakers today are John, or J.D. Hartman, as most know him, and Asa Guilamo. Now, J.D. Hartman of Signity Financial focuses on sustainable, responsible investing and provides forward-thinking financial strategies in line with client values. He has worked in the financial industry for nearly 40 years, and much of this time was spent in New York City as the senior managing director of the Wall Street investment bank Liebenthal and Company. In addition to his business responsibilities, J.D. is a community activist and a leader with expertise in cooperatively owned businesses. He is the board chair of Urban Roots Cooperative Garden Center in the Five Points neighborhood of Buffalo, and a founding member of the Sustainable Investment Forum and the Sustainable Business Roundtable. Asa Guilamo is the executive director of the Western New York Sustainable Business Roundtable. She has worked at the intersection of public policy, lawmaking, information, and business within the European Union for more than 10 years. She was appointed scientific attaché for sustainable development at the Embassy of Sweden in Tokyo, Japan, and she was also in charge of Sweden's Ministry of Environmental Research Group. Asa holds a bachelor's degree in social science and a master's program degree in environmental management and auditing. I enjoy doing this program because it gives me a chance to introduce to the rest of the community some very talented people. Today is a good example of just that. So now let's welcome JD and Asa. JD, take it away.
Yes, I'll start over. Thank you, Dennis, and thank you to the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library. It's an honor to be here with Asa, and I'm going to turn it over to her promptly. Her message is interesting and exciting, quite frankly, in that the Western New York Sustainable Business Roundtable got its start, literally a roundtable that was a group of people at lunch just discussing what's the role of business in forging a sustainable community. You know, most folks consider business, you know, producers of jobs and wealth, really, and that too. But you know, the you know, attending to such issues as environmental stewardship, social justice, and fair and open governance is also a role and that the business can and does play. So from that luncheon 7+ years ago, came the Sustainable Business Roundtable, and now it's a veritable who's who of the Western New York business community. Asa has a slide, I know, and it's going to show everybody from M&T Bank and Rich Products to my company, Signity Financial. You'll recognize dozens and dozens of them. It is what I would call a think and do tank. We think about things and we get out there and do them. My company is a member, and I'm proud of that. And I think every company on the marquee is proud of it. So I'm going to turn it over to Asa to provide us with some really deep and detailed insights. So Asa, take it away.
Thank you so much, JD, and thanks, Dennis, for the invitation. Can you see my slide up in Zoom? Perfect. So I'm very glad to be here and to meet you all. I'm Asa Guilamo with the SBR, so Western New York Sustainable Business Roundtable, SBR for short. I wanted to just give you my background in photos. So let's see if I having this issue with the slide deck now that I warned the organizers about, that it's not forwarding when I'm in presentation mode. But let me try it again. Let's see. So you can see if it can come up to the second one. There we go. So my background in photos. So to the photo there to the left, you can see that's the Ministry of Environment in central Stockholm, Sweden. And that's the explanation for my accent as well, which you will have to bear in mind now for the next 10 minutes or so. Middle of photo is from Tokyo, Japan. You can see the cherry blossom, the sakura in the background there. And the right photo is the beach in Fort Lauderdale. I was the vice consul at the Swedish consulate in Fort Lauderdale before I moved here. I'm now proud to call Western New York, Buffalo, and in particular East Aurora home for the last 3 years. And I'm here to present for you today SBR and how we support Western New York companies investing in sustainability. So SBR's 7th birthday is coming up on Earth Day, so April 22nd. We were created in 2014 to help companies invest in their economic and environmental future, to connect them both to each other and to resources, and to educate businesses we together can learn the best practices in different topic areas, and also to recognize member achievements, with the overall goal of creating an economically and environmentally resilient Western New York region. So here's the logo board that JD warned you about. So we have currently about 70 members. You see Equitable Advisors and Signity Financial's logo right here below Tesla's. And these are member organizations. The majority, as you can see, are for-profit businesses, but we also have other nonprofits. We have government and academic entities among our membership. All of them are dues-paying members, and they have all signed on to our core principles, pledged to implement sustainable business practices that, number 1, protect our waterways, number 2, optimize the use of energy and materials, and 3, to invest in our community. So this is a local, place-based community. I would like to put a heart in here too, because it's all about the love for the region. And SBR gives supports to these companies, as you can see, that from various different sectors of all sizes, from Rich Products, a big player, to Niagara Malt, a very small 2-person company, and also to businesses on different stages in their sustainability journey. So please consider joining us if your organization that you represent has a presence in Western New York. And please help us spread the word to professionals within your network. Our members get educational workshops, they get networking opportunities. So prior to March 2020, it was all face-to-face, but we have gone all virtual since then. They get access to member tools, templates. We have a metrics reporting form. And you can explore all the members in our membership directory. I put the link there, and I think someone will post that in the chat as well, so it's easier for you to just click on it. This slide shows the workshop themes that we have for 2021. So we have just wrapped up our sustainability planning semester with the workshops virtually on making plans, measuring progress, telling your story. And we are now entering into the engaging employees semester. We're collaborating with JD and Signity Financial for a panel on investment for SBR's annual meeting. So that's coming up in June. Also next up is a networking event in April. So the month of Earth Day, April, is a very hectic time of the year for many sustainability professionals. And this is an opportunity for our members and others to vent in smaller groups and to get support from their peers. Our annual signature event is the Sustainable Business Summit. And this year's theme is around the global goals of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, what they are, why they are important, and how they can bring value. So the summit is the venue where we bring in national leaders. So we have national leaders and local and regional leaders featured in 3 keynote panels. So right now we have confirmed speakers from, for example, Ben & Jerry's, M&T Bank, Clean Capital, and more. So this is 2 afternoons on May 5th and May 6th. And we're meeting in, not in Zoom, because I think everyone is getting a little bit zoomed out at this point. So we're meeting in a virtual conference platform called Remo, where you can walk around to different floors and, you know, table to table, just like you would do in a face-to-face event. And the keynote panels are intertwined with networking and topic discussions. We have early bird tickets on sale until Monday. So if you're interested, make sure to register and sign up before Monday. I wanted to talk a little bit about our programs as well. So we have 2 programs, one for recognition and one for chemical reduction. So SBR members have an annual metrics reporting requirement. So they fill in a survey that also guides the content for a sustainability plan. Members can also choose to report a specific project, and we have 3 annual awards to the strongest projects. So they are recognized at the Sustainable Business Summit, in case studies, and in paid media as well. Our chemical reduction program is open for all, so not only for members. It's called Western New York Clean Production Leaders, and Signity Financial is one of the signatories of the chemical footprint survey. So we have SBR has partnered with the New York State Pollution Prevention Institute, Clean Production Action, Niagara Share, and more to give Western New York companies a complete support package so they can take a proactive approach to chemicals. So the other local participating companies right now is TapeCon, Catholic Health, and Madiba Janitorial. And there's more on this program and on recognition on our website if you look under the What to Do tab to explore more. But for this group, I also wanted to show, apart from the member resources, we do also have SBR tools that are open for all. So feel free to explore. So on this page, tools and resources, we have sustainability plan templates. We have resources for materiality assessments, for calculating your footprint, if it's your carbon footprint or your chemical footprint. So this is also under What We Do on SBR's website. I also wanted to take a quick minute to give a shout out to Buffalo Spree that's featuring SBR in the brand new April issue. That is a sustainability issue where you can read more about SBR and what our members do. This article is called The Business Case for Sustainability, and I think someone will hopefully post this link in the chat as well, so you don't have to copy and paste all this. Thank you. I wanted to stop right away to see if we can have time for some questions or comments. Thanks for listening, and I'm excited to hear from you. You're on mute.
Yes. All right. Asa, that was very good. Leah, do we have any questions that have emerged?
We don't have any questions yet.
Hey,
JD,
you know,
you go ahead.
Dennis,
And,
well, I
follow
just
up on
want,
that.
yeah, I just want to thank Asa for the, you know, the insights to the SBR. Remember, SBR is a Sustainable Business Roundtable. I can't tell you that how far the organization has come from that luncheon conversation of 7.5 years ago to being really at the cutting edge, both nationally and internationally. I think one program that Asa mentioned, the chemical reduction program, is really cutting edge. You know, I think everyone on here is probably familiar with, you know, reducing your carbon footprint. We do it at home. We put our sweater on, we turn the thermostat down. I drive an electric vehicle, that type of thing. But, you know, the chemical footprint project is just cutting edge. I mean, we're not really quite as aware of the insidiousness of chemicals. I mean, thinking it's maybe changing the fertility of the human race. There's going to be more plastic in the ocean in 2025 than living beings. I mean, this is not only, these are serious challenges that really we need business engaged in. You and I can't, you know, take our recyclable, you know, our bags to the supermarket. I mean, we can do that. We must do that so we don't contribute more plastic to the ocean. But that's just not going to get it done. Business has a role to play, and it is playing it. And it's playing it, you know, it's being led by the Sustainable Business Roundtable, of which, you know, really Asa is the leader of, along with the board. So anyway, thank you, Asa. I just wanted to chime in a little bit more about how important I know it is. So thanks.
JD, a quick question I have is, are you part of a national, maybe even global network of similar organizations and communities, business roundtable, sustainable business roundtable discussions going on? Or are we somewhat taking a leadership role in this?
I'm going to say no, but I'm going to defer to Asa. But before I do, I'm going to say that what's interesting is national organizations are becoming interested in the Western New York Sustainable Business Roundtable. For example, the Chemical Footprint Project came to us from the Boston area, and Buffalo. Some of the organizations, Tapicon and Harmac and whatnot, are some of the early adopters of the program. But Asa, are we a member of a national organization?
I think the key value of SBR is the fact that it's local and state-based. It's all about this region. There are, you know, if you have a plastic manufacturers, for example, there are sustainability organization on a national those sectors. But I think the real value that SBR brings to the table is that we're here.
Yeah, but it's a good question, Dennis, in that it good question, and that's prompts some thought of, like, you know, we do have it somewhat templated now. It would be interesting to take it on the road, see what, you know, what other, I mean, other cities could adopt it and get it up and running easier now than we did 7 years ago. So anyway, good question. Any other questions out there? So
Yes.
I know some people here. What's going on?
We do have a question. Besides chemical and carbon reduction, could you briefly describe some other current projects?
Whoops.
Our education calendar, you know, for 2020, for example, we worked on both waste and the carbon footprint, going into evaluating nature semester this year and looking at supply chain. If anyone is interested to take a look at our recognition application or our new member application, it's the sustainability survey. You see what our members are working in. They have different sections for water, waste, energy, etc. And content for SBR is decided in collaboration with our members. We're trying to grasp what topics they need support on and inspiration on that we guide our content. It varies from year to year.
Asa, your sound breaks up. So could you just repeat the essential part of what you just said, but just slow it down? For some reason, it's just your voice is interrupted, it seems, and there's a break. Good.
Sorry about that. Yes, so we have our sustainability survey that all metrics, the metrics that all members are submitting has sections for water, waste, energy, people, and the specific educational content each year. It's decided in collaboration with membership. So we have different each year and through these different semesters, trying to grasp what areas our members support in and inspiration. But our current programs are for chemical reduction. That's right.
All right. And your bio invites this question. Something attracted you to this area, and I think you mentioned the East Aurora area. Do you envision, given your background, a leadership role, as we were discussing, by your organization? Are you taking this to a spot that literally the world needs some leadership? It can come from agencies like the United Nations, it can come from nations, and it can come grassroots, as I sense JD over that little luncheon discussion began a grassroots movement that's 7 years into it, and obviously doing a wonderful job. What was your vision in starting and taking the job and responsibility?
I was just excited to find this organization, to be honest, especially coming here directly from Florida. I had really missed the type of organizations that, in the EU, similar organizations do exist in Japan as well, right? Where you have progressive business leaders trying to push the agenda. So I'm super excited to be working for SPR. It's just a great network of that are moving the needle every day.
Well, good.
Yeah, I'd like to add on two topics. One is, as fortunate as Asa has been to have found the Western New York Sustainable Business Roundtable, really not expecting to find such a bleeding edge organization. We are really fortunate to have found Asa, because the question about what other programs are there other than maybe chemical and carbon footprint reduction. The first few years of the organization was really focused on building the organization itself, just increasing its capacity, more members. It's transitioned from no membership due fees to paid membership and that type of thing. And Asa has been, has now not only led us through that part of the growth of the organization, but now is really putting her foot down on the pedal to the metal on developing programming. So it's going to expand. She mentioned people as one of the subjects. Obviously, we've started out focusing on the environment, but social justice is huge. Fair hiring practices. How about the inclusion of women, minorities, people of color in management and executive levels. So there, and then also the fair and open governance. So there's a lot to come, and we need all the help we can get. So anybody on this on the call, or people in your network who'd like to join are more than welcome. We would encourage it.
That's good. Leah, I noticed, are there a few more questions maybe that have surfaced?
Nope, that was the only question.
Oh, okay. All right. Investing for the public is a hard notion, but as you know, I retired from that field literally 22 years ago. And from the standpoint of awareness, there's a lot of talk now about ESG investing. JD, you covered that in the last time you were on, the end of last year, end of December. And by the way, we will continue to cover this subject on every 5th Tuesday. Now, the next one comes along in the end of November. And just mention who we have scheduled for that, JD, while we think of it.
Yeah, actually, it's one of the few people, and I'm not one of them, it's one of the few people that really put their heart and soul into founding this organization. Ryan McPherson is this Chief Sustainability Officer at the University of Buffalo. And this is one of the guys that he walks the talk. I just give you, first of all, he's just a very intelligent, well-educated, articulate guy who's committed to his profession. But he's also the kind of, but he's charming and he's the entire package. But you'll be at a dinner party, or I mean like a dinner function, and if there's plastic silverware, the man pulls out his bamboo knife, fork, and spoon. He has a solar stand on his house, so he's moving his own personal home off the grid. So he is our guest in November, and I've never come across anybody, and I've been around. I have never crossed anybody who please show up in November. It'll be a treat.
But JD, the reason I made that little entree into that world of November is really to bring it back to today. We've got 22 colleges and universities like UB. We're a large but yet small community. There's 1 million of us in Erie County and Niagara County. Oh, and then we've got this place called Chautauqua Institution with a global footprint, going more digital under the circumstances of COVID, especially. A lifelong learning center. And I know they have adopted the lake and sustainability as a major thrust of their mission. So the role of Cezanne for me is to keep trying to connect these dots, if you will, industry that you're connecting, the educational systems, the library system, all of the volunteers that work with all the culturals, and grassroots, ground up, at least be aware of and come to terms with sustainability. We're a small planet. There's 7.5 billion of us on it, and we're one little dot on that planet, but I think it's an important one. And I really gained that reassurance today listening to you, Asa, and your background. So that's my invitation, is how do we bring all of this together in a creative, imaginative way. Imagine a healthy, wealthy, sustainable community is our ongoing theme. And to do it, we have to imagine place-based lifelong learning, I would argue. And you're at the heart of that. So I encourage you, I applaud you, and we all thank you. I think we're just about to the point of finishing up. Is there any last words for the good of the order?
How about you, Asa?
No, I just want to echo what Dennis said. It's this is everyone's job, right, and mission, and it's, I think, the stronger we are when we're working together. So SBR is, as much as our capacity allows, always looking for partnerships and ways to build back better. And I think in this virtual world, there's of course disadvantages, but we also have advantages of being able to get together more easily, even if it's not face to face, while also lowering our carbon footprint since we're not traveling. So there's a silver lining to this reality too.
Yeah.
Like you said, magic words, by the way. Build back better is the current theme. I think there'll be a transportation bill coming out fairly shortly, infrastructure bill rather, and certainly maybe there's a way to connect into that world, the world of Washington. And by the way, your funding is primarily from the corporations that are members. Is there any government funding like the county or the city for your roundtable?
Yes, we're a nonprofit organization, and the core of our funding is the membership dues that I mentioned. The EPA is the grantee for our chemical reduction program. So that's the reason why we can build such a strong program with the EPA support.
Have you received any foundation support?
That's something we're working on. We're don't have that many relationships yet, but if anyone has any openings or ideas, I'm very eager to hear, because we're also working on sustaining our sustainable future.
Well, things to think about.
Hey, Dennis, last word on, because the word imagine, which is central to your series, is important for business, because most people just think of business and profit, and one of our kind of objectives is to challenge business, to use their imaginations, to also consider promoting people and the planet. So and they're not mutually exclusive. So anyway, great to see everybody. Thank you.
And folks, great to see you. That's a great program. Thanks for joining us today and supporting this Imagine series. Join us next week, same time, same Zoom link, when we hear from Dennis Mayer. Now, he's an artist and architect, and his major project is located downtown on Elmwood, and it's called Assembly House 150. It's a church, former Catholic church, that is now a studio for teaching craftsmen that end up getting very good jobs over the last several years, and reusing materials. Check out their website. Just Google or search Assembly House 150 Dennis Mayer, and you'll be able to read all about it. So I'm Dennis Galecki. Be well and have a good afternoon.